welcome to another episode of Have You Seen It?
I'm awake now.
I am Charles, and I am with the festive and lovely Denise. So, Denise, what movie are you going to recommend for our audience?
Okie dokie. I am going to recommend the Netflix original 2021. And the name of the movie is Unforgivable, starring Sandra Bullock. And I'll just name a few of the cast members because there are quite a few. Viola Davis is in this movie, Richard Thomas, a.k.a. John Boy Walton. And those were the only three people I knew. The other people I knew by face. I've seen you somewhere, but I'm not sure who you are. So, but there was a lot of other people in this movie. Okay, Sandra Bullock's character, Ruth Slater, has just been released from prison after serving a 20-year sentence for moida. Okay, and so she, gets out of jail. She's got her parole officer. He sets her up in her little, hole-in-the-wall places she's going to be staying, so forth and so on. She's got, a hard time with getting back into society. She's got to find a job, so she ends up, she gets some work. But she's bitter. She's got a lot of pent-up anger, frustration, and so that doesn't help her cause as she's, reacclimating and meeting new people, okay? So anyway, she is looking for the young sister that she left behind when she went to jail, okay? There's quite a big age difference. So the sister was about 5-6 years old when Sandra Bullock's character, Ruth, went to jail. And so now she's looking for her. The thing is this child has been traumatized by the events that landed Ruth in jail. And there are a lot of flashbacks. So you know how that goes, right? And you're as you see these flashbacks, you're trying to figure out, okay, how did this even happen? How did they even get in this situation? Well, Richard Thomas plays the father who adopted the young sister. So, fast forward as time goes by, she makes contact with them, but of course, Richard Thomas and his wife is like, no, we don't want any parts of this. You're the reason why she's with us in the first place.
Right.
So, as the movie goes on, you just see the different relationships that Ruth has with, her parole officer, Richard Thomas and his wife. Her young sister now has a sister, okay? And her interaction with Viola Davis and her family. So, as the movie progresses, things aren't as they seem. And those pieces start to come together about 3/4 of the way into the movie. So I'll just leave that there. If you haven't seen Sandra Bullock in a minute, check it out. And I had not. If you haven't seen Viola Davis in a minute, check it out. And especially Richard Thomas. I haven't seen him since he left Walton Mountain. So I recommend this movie, Netflix, Unforgivable.
Okay, so my recommendation is A Castle for Christmas, starring Brooke Shields and Carrie Ells. So Brooke Shields plays Sophie Brown, and she's a famous author, world famous author, and she has written 9 bestsellers in this series that she's created. And she puts out book number 10, and it puts her in the doghouse. Not only with her publisher, but with her fans, because she decides in her series to write off the favorite protagonist in there, right? And you know how people get.
Yeah.
You know how they, so she's like, it's just chaos around her. So she decides to up and go to Scotland but she's just not going to Scotland just to go. Her father is from there. So she goes to the small town called Dunbar. And there she goes and visits the castle that her father talked about and where her grandfather worked at when he was a groundskeeper. So she goes in the castle. She falls in love with this castle, right? And she started remembering all the stories that her father told her, right, about the small town and the castle. And it's what made her become a writer. And so she finds out the castle is for sale. So she buys it, right? Okay. Why not? Hey, I got the money. I just go ahead and buys the castle. But it was conditioned with it. It was a 90-day escrow, and she had to live in the castle and help put it back to its original state. And the Duke, played by Cary Ells, right, he still would be staying in the castle, right? And so his whole goal was to get her to default on the 90-day escrow so he could keep the money and still fix up the castle, right? He did everything he could in his power to get this girl out of this castle. But she was determined to stay there. And she ends up falling in love with the town and the townspeople. And she finds out it's more to the Duke than the frosty demeanor that he had displayed. So it's a Hallmark. This is a Hallmark one. But and though it was, a Hallmark kind of film, Shields and Ells, they really made this thing work. He was grumpy, and she softened him up, right, with her determination. So in the Scottish background, fantastic. So this is a Netflix original, and I recommend A Castle for Christmas.
Okay, thank you.
So who is your nailed it?
My nailed it is Macy Gray from the movie Training Day. Just that one scene. She was only in the movie for about 5 minutes. But that 5 minutes, I was impressed with her acting talents because she was a crackhead who was served with a fake search warrant, and she had a filthy mouth, and she cussed Denzel and Ethan Hawke out, but she got even more foul when she realized that was a Chinese menu that they served her with and not a search warrant. So she was believable to me because I didn't think that she was really acting. So she convinced me as just a crackhead or whatever she was in that movie. So she's my nailed it. Macy Gray.
So my nailed it is Tim Allen and Scott Calvin in The Santa Claus. So he sees a Santa Claus fall off his roof, right? And then when he goes over to the costume, Santa Claus disappears, and he sees a card, and he picks up the card, and he finds out that Santa Claus is not a person, but it is a clause. So when he picked up the card, he became Santa Claus. So movie's funny as heck. He was funny. Right, the supporting actors just really nailed it and making this movie fantastic. But he was great, and he made you believe in Santa Claus, and he made him a better man and a better father because he was a horrible father.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So my nailed it is Tim Allen and Scott Calvin in The Santa Claus.
All right, folks, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that like button. And we're available on every podcast platform in the universe. Just type in, "Have you seen it?" with Charles and Denise, and there we will be.
Audience, thank you very much for joining us for another episode of Have You Seen It with my homie and yours truly. And we are out.
Bye-bye.